Hello, and welcome to the Create Better Health Physical Activity course. This episode is going to be over the topic of challenges when it comes down to physical activity. This is presented by the Abilene-Taylor County Public Health District. Starting off, one of the biggest challenges a lot of people face is the lack of time, or at least feeling like they have a lack of time. One of the best ways to overcome this challenge is by adding physical activity into your daily routine. Incorporating physical activity into your life does not always mean setting aside an hour or so to exercise. Rather, it can look like splitting it up throughout the week, as well as just finding small ways to add to your daily routine. So, for example, things such as doing morning stretches or whenever you have chores to do, as well as whenever you're going out, parking further. There are also ways to adapt your hobbies to move more. So, if you have a hobby where you're primarily sitting down, maybe doing it in a way where you can stand and walk around occasionally, or trying out different hobbies that can incorporate more physical activity. As well as one way is to park further away from your destination. Another one is to dance or stretch or walk during your breaks, but you can also do that while you're seated. So if you're watching TV, gaming, then you can still stretch or you can do a little bit of movement. You can even do certain stretches and stuff while you're laying down. And of course, adding things like taking walks and stuff while you're during your lunch. Another big point is lack of energy. It can take a lot of energy to start exercising. One way to overcome this challenge is by tracking your progress to see what days and times you're most active, and then scheduling activity around the times that you're most energized. So if you notice that you're more active on certain days or in the morning versus the afternoon, or vice versa, then try and schedule your physical activity and fit it in where you have more energy, or doing it in ways where you feel more energetic afterwards. Because overall, exercise actually helps make you more energetic. Another one is lack of motivation. So, being motivated to exercise or get any sort of physical activity can be really hard. One way to help is by making it part of your schedule as well as writing it on your calendar. So, constantly having that reminder of needing to do physical activity can be really helpful. Having it be part of your schedule or having a nice routine, especially routines where you feel like you get something out of it. So, if you are doing a relaxing self care routine, incorporating movement into that, or incorporating movement into something like watching your favorite show, as well as remembering your why. In one of our prior episodes, we talked about SMART goals and needing a why. Why are you trying to be physically active? Why are you trying to prioritize your health more? Remembering why you want to do this in the first place can also help that motivation. Another way to help is by having someone else hold you accountable. One way that this works out is by having a friend or someone else that you live with or talk to work out together, or just having them be aware and kind of remind you to get out and be physically active. Another issue is a lack of skill. So, one thing that you can do is starting off easy. So, start off with activities that don't require so much skill, like walking or stretching, things that are kind of typical for us to do normally. You don't automatically have to go in with the most hardcore exercises, sports, weightlifting, or anything like that. You can start off with whatever is familiar with you. Another thing you can do is find a class. So look for a class that aligns with something that you're interested in, whether it's a sport or a type of exercise. Finding an environment where you're encouraged to learn can be really helpful to kind of get over that lack of skill. And also setting a schedule to improve your skills gradually. Not everyone starts off at 100%. It's very normal to have to start to build up your skills. So don't become discouraged if immediately whenever you try something new, you're not to the level that you think you should be or that you want to be. It takes time, and that's part of the journey. It takes time, that's part of the journey. Another struggle can be a lack of resources. A lot of times, whenever we think about exercise or being physically active, you can think about having to have a bunch of different equipment at your house or having to pay for a gym membership. Just generally needing a lot of resources that not all of us have. So look for some free or low cost opportunities in our community, whether that is free classes online or in person, or if it's taking a run at the park or exercising at the park where they have the exercise areas. There are a lot of different ways to get physically active, especially in an environment that might be more adjacent to something like a gym or a paid class. Another struggle some people have is fear of injury. A way to help overcome this is by trying to look at what type of activities you can do, considering your age, your fitness level, and your health status. Just make sure that you are being realistic with yourself and you're not trying to overcommit to what you might be physically able to do. Building up slowly and building up confidence is one of the most important things. And with this, also knowing what types of exercise should you be working on and should you be doing. A lot of issues regarding fear of injury might also be negated by talking to your healthcare team if that is something that you're worried about, or looking for other resources. And a good general rule is to stretch and warm up before and after you exercise. That's a great way to not get injured is by making sure that your body is prepared to do whatever sort of physical activity that you are wanting to do. All right, so that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Our next episode is going to be over the topic of aerobic activity.